Welcome back to the Journey for Truth. The murder curse and the death code, betrayal from within. The peaceful log cabin collapsed when investigating police officers suddenly stormed in, but not to protect. Instead, they delivered a terrifying warning: the chemical poison in the lumber that almost killed their son was a tool of a transnational crime organization. The agonizing twist: that the dying and guilty father in prison suddenly roared the truth. The curse wasn't aimed at James, but at the most ordinary wedding gift. Diep's copper wedding ring concealing $1 million secret code is the key to the treasure and the assassin's #1 target. Mange Bio, the man who delivered the poison wood, has been revealed. The Soymat Haven is turning into a life-and-death battlefield. Will James dare to use the copper ring as a deadly lure to hunt down and take out the enemy? Or will he accept the cursed fortune to buy back peace? Don't blink. Tune in now to witness the confrontation. Is a parent's regret powerful enough to diffuse the death lurking over this innocent family? Join the hunt for truth. If you are ready to confront buried secrets, then hit the like button hard. If you want James to use the truth to fight until the end, subscribe now so you don't miss the next chapter, the fateful copper ring and the redemption punch. After hearing Fat utter his last words through choked sobs, I'm proud of you, of the life you chose. May you and Diep and the little one always be safe. James stepped out of the visiting room. His feeling was a strange mix of contempt for his father's criminal past and a hint of relief that the curtain of secrets had finally been lifted. Lieutenant Than was waiting for him outside. "Mr. James, are you okay?" James nodded, running a hand over his face. "I have the enemy's name, Mon Bio, a henchman of someone called Vien. And I know their real target, Diep's wedding ring, where the code for a Swiss account is hidden." Mr. Fat said it's the last clean money he held on to. Thong nodded gravely. A Swiss account? That makes sense. Vien is trying to seize Fat's entire underground empire. James, you've just touched a gold mine and it's heating up. I have to get back to Soymat immediately. James said, his heart burning. He had to protect Diep and little An. "I need to analyze this information, and I will use that copper ring as bait." As James turned to leave, Lieutenant Than stopped him. "Hold on, James. One more thing about Mr. Fat." James turned back, his face cold. "Did he have something else to say?" "It's not what he said," Than replied, looking toward the holding room. "It's what he did." During the brief meeting, Fat handed me an envelope. He said, "This is his first and last act of repentance." Lieutenant Than handed James a carefully sealed brown envelope. Inside, James felt a stack of papers. He said, "If you are alive, you will understand." He called it the absolute truth. James hesitated, then tore the envelope open. It contained photocopies of documents, accounting ledgers, and architectural blueprints, but not the corporation's files. It was a hand-drawn map of the corporation's illegal lumber supply and distribution network, marked with secret timber yards' transportation routes. And most importantly, the precise location of the alpha chloral hydrate production and storage facility that Vien was using. Every detail, including the location, of the triangle with dot symbol James had carved was highlighted in red ink. Fat had used his intimate knowledge of the corporation structure to redraw the entire underground crime network. This wasn't just information. This was a tool to destroy the criminal organization. My God. James gasped, his hands trembling. He kept these things as evidence to protect himself, and now he's using it to save my family. Thong remained silent. Fat told me that he understood the curse wasn't aimed at you, but at the ring. And he knew the only way to break the curse was to use the very truth to destroy it. James looked at the stack of documents. It wasn't just a map. It was a silent act of atonement. Fat had recognized that his son had chosen a different path, and he decided to use everything he had left, the most bitter truth, to protect his son and grandson. James arrived at Soi Mat as dusk was settling. The scent of wood and milk soothed his soul, but couldn't erase the tension. He found Diep boiling herbal water on the wood stove, little An sleeping soundly in the crib. "You're back," Diep exclaimed, but she saw the heavy look in his eyes. James said nothing. He simply handed Fat's envelope to Diep. "I got the truth, but it's not just the truth, Diep. It's an all-out war." Diep quickly scanned the documents. She immediately grasped the level of danger. Mr. Fat, he used his final days to help us. This is his most sincere repentance, James. It's not just Fat regretting Diep. James said, his voice dropping low. He looked out the window where the darkness was swallowing the valley. "I spoke with Mrs. Lam on the phone on the way back. I told her everything about the ring, about Monbeo and Vian, and about Fat's actions. Mrs. Lam is deeply regretful that she didn't side with me sooner." Diep was surprised. Mrs. Lam, who had always silently endured, was now expressing regret. "And Mrs. Lam has made a decision," James continued. "She said she is coming back." Diep looked up. "Coming back? What do you mean? Not coming back to the city, but coming back to fight. She is the one who understands Fat's social network and information channels best, and she wants to use it to shield us. She said, 'Fat atoned with documents. I will atone with action.' She will use every remaining connection to create a phantom network to divert Vian and Monbeo, making them think the copper ring is still in the city or is being smuggled out." James held Diep tightly. "We are no longer alone. Fat has provided the map. Mrs. Lam will be the shield, and we will be the ones to deliver the final punch." That night, James and Diep stayed awake, analyzing Fat's map and planning. The log cabin was no longer a refuge. It had become the command center for a clandestine operation. James couldn't hand the original map directly to Lieutenant Thon, as it might be compromised if Thon was being watched. James, utilizing his architectural skills, encoded the information. He used his log cabin blueprints, embedding the coordinates of the poison factory and the names of Vian's henchmen into the structural details. For example, the length of a specific crossbeam corresponded to a coordinate. He sent this blueprint to Thon via a secure communication channel, stating it was the final update of the house. The ring was the target, but it could not be lost. James created 3 identical fake copper rings. He used his carving skills to engrave false codes onto the replicas, keeping Diep's real ring safely on her finger. Then, he planned to leak these 3 fake rings in 3 different directions using Mrs. Lamb's supportive network. One would be sent via an old acquaintance of Fat One, would be dropped at a coffee shop Vian frequented, and one would be transported via a fake sea route. Monbeo was the one who delivered the poisoned lumber. He was the weakest and most traceable link. James knew Monbeo would return to Soymat to find the ring. Instead of waiting, James would set a reverse trap. He repaired the poisoned oak crib, leaving a minimal trace of the alpha-chloral hydrate poison inside, then placed the crib in a visible location in the workshop, accompanied by a fabricated letter inviting the finder to look for the ring stuck in the wood. The enemy wants your son to survive, but only to become a hostage. James recalled Fat's words. Now, they will survive, but only to become the instrument of their own downfall. 3 days later, the plan commenced. In the city, Mrs. Lamb had begun making mysterious calls, arranging urgent meetings, and deliberately leaking information about a large sum of money about to be withdrawn from an offshore account. She created a storm of disinformation, drawing Vian's attention into a fake hunt for the ring. In Soymat, James had completed the crib trap. He and Diep lived in extreme vigilance, but maintained an outward appearance of peace. On a moonless night, when the sound of the stream was the only noise, James and Diep watched through their homemade security camera monitors. "He's here," Diep whispered. Manbeo's gaunt figure appeared in the moonlight, heading straight for the workshop. He didn't sneak. He walked straight, perhaps overly confident. He carried a large cloth bag. Manbeo went directly to the oak crib James had placed in the center of the workshop. He found the fake letter and began searching. Just as anticipated, he found the first fake ring, the one James had intentionally revealed. "Found it!" Manbeo exclaimed, his voice stuttering. He held the ring up to inspect it under his flashlight. That was when James acted. He didn't intervene directly. Instead, he pressed a remote control button. An old video footage, recorded by Fat the Evidence, regarding a ruthless transaction made by Vian, was projected from a hidden projector, shining directly onto the workshop wall. Vian, you betrayed me. Fat's voice echoed in the darkness, channeled through an external speaker. Manbeo froze. He turned his head, his eyes frantic. He didn't know what Fat had done, but he knew he was trapped. He saw another man standing in the corner of the workshop, Lieutenant Thon, who had been secretly tracking Monbeo, following James's instructions. "Monbeo," Thon said coldly, "you are under arrest for the storage and use of a Schedule A poison." Manbeo knew he had been sold out. He threw the fake copper ring and the cloth bag. "It wasn't me. It was Vian. He made me do it." Monbeo screamed in panic. James stepped out of the shadows, with Diep right behind him. "It is Vian." But Mr. Fat returned to atone, and he provided the evidence to dismantle Vian's entire organization, from the poison to the Swiss account. Even this man, Monbeo, was his final piece of information. Seeing James and Diep Monbeo completely collapsed, he knew he couldn't fight against a man who chose the truth and a father who had regretted his actions. Lieutenant Thon handcuffed Monbiot. Vienne would never have expected Fat to regret this deeply. This is a fatal blow. Monbiot was arrested, bringing with him the lead to Vienne. Thanks to Fat's detailed map, the police quickly raided and neutralized the poison production facility. The transnational crime organization was shaken to its core. Mrs. Lamb, with her remote assistants, continued to spread disinformation until Vienne was surrounded. A few weeks later, Vienne was apprehended, his underground assets were seized, and the curse of the copper ring was officially broken. James and Diep won, not by running away or by accepting the cursed fortune, but by using the truth itself as a weapon and the repentance of their loved ones as a shield. James sat next to little Anne's crib, his hand touching Diep's wedding ring. "We reversed the curse, my love. It's not money that gives us peace, but love and the truth." Diep smiled radiantly. And the timely repentance of a Father James, the soy mat log cabin became more peaceful than ever. The scent of pine wood and warm milk was now not just the smell of completeness, but the smell of rebirth. James looked out at the valley. He was no longer a victim. He was a protector, the architect who had rebuilt his life and used the fragments of a criminal past to forge a solid future. Would James accept the cursed fortune to buy back peace? James and Diep decided not to touch the Swiss account. Instead, they used the copper rings code and all the evidence Fat had left behind to transfer the clean money to the government, accompanied by a proposal to use it to establish a fund to support victims of economic crime. Yet this is the best way for Fat to atone to society. James told Diep, "We don't need the money of the past. We already have the most precious assets, truth, love, and little Anne." The gate of the soy mat fortress had closed, but their new life had opened solid and clear like the daylight. After James left the prison, carrying the valuable documents Fat had entrusted to him, Fat felt an enormous burden lifted. He knew that his final act, revealing the secret of the copper ring and providing the map of Vienne's crime network, was the only meaningful act of redemption. He had used the truth to protect his son. However, this serenity was fleeting. What tormented Fat the most was not the physical imprisonment, but the spiritual imprisonment due to the mistakes he had inflicted upon his son. He had seen James's firm yet unforgiving eyes, and that was the most powerful conviction. James had grown up chosen an honest life, and the love he had for Diep and little Anne was a beacon so bright that Fat could not ignore it. In the prison infirmary, Fat grew weaker. He called his lawyer not to appeal his sentence, but to arrange one final meeting, not for information, but for an apology. At the same time in the city, Mrs. Lamb was busy executing James's plan to divert Vienne. She used her social experience and old network to create a perfect theatrical performance about the smuggling of the fake copper ring. But when she was alone in her cold house, Mrs. Lamb couldn't stop crying. The tears were not for the loss of money or prestige, but for the immense love she had witnessed. She remembered the image of James giving up all his immense wealth just to find peace with Diep. The moment Diep accepted the danger to give birth to their son in the simple wooden house. The look in James's eyes when he held little Anne in the hospital, the look of a father who had found absolute meaning in life. "What have I done?" she asked herself. I tried to buy my son with money and impose the life I wanted on him when all he needed was love and the truth. Mrs. Lamb realized that while Fat had made public financial mistakes, she had made a deeper spiritual mistake. She had doubted her son's genuine love and tried to divide his family. She decided that she had to go to Soymat herself. She couldn't atone over the phone or with money. She needed to face James and Diep, ask for forgiveness, not as an authoritative mother, but as a woman who had made a mistake. A week later, after Mon Bao was arrested and the second fake copper ring was successfully leaked, James received a call from Lieutenant Thon. James Fat's lawyer has requested a special visit, and Mrs. Lamb has also contacted me. Both want to see you, not for information, but for personal matters. They said this is the last time. James was silent for a long time. He didn't want to see them. He had closed that past chapter. Diep, who was listening to the conversation, took James's hand. Go, James. They helped us so much. Let them say what they need to say so they can find peace. James made his decision. He would meet them, but not in a cold place like the prison, nor a luxurious one like the city. He invited them to Soymat. If they are truly remorseful, they will come to our world. They will see the life we chose. James told Diep. It was a beautiful sunny day in Soymat. The oak front door of the house was wide open. Diep held little An, standing next to James, ready to face the past. Before Mrs. Lamb arrived, Lieutenant Thon escorted Fat up first. Fat, now allowed to wear civilian clothes, looked weaker and more worn than ever. He was brought in a specialized vehicle. Fat took heavy steps up the porch. When he saw the scene before him, the beautiful wooden house, the gentle, deep little An sleeping peacefully in his mother's arms, and James standing tall, full of self-respect, he couldn't hold back. James, son, Fat managed to say, his voice catching in his throat. He didn't look at James, but looked straight at Diep. Fat knelt down, despite Lieutenant Thon's attempt to stop him. Ms. Diep, I apologize. I beg your forgiveness. Fat said, tears streaming down his withered face. I once wanted to use money and power to destroy you simply because you dared to love my son with true affection. I was wrong. You are the angel who saved James, who pulled him out of the mire. My sending the poisoned lumber my intention to harm my grandson. That is an unforgivable crime. Fat didn't ask James for forgiveness first, because he knew Diep was the one who had endured the most. Diep gently stepped forward, still holding their son. Mr. Fat, you handed the truth to James. That is the most precious atonement. We forgive you. Fat turned to James. He couldn't utter any more words, only extending his hand trembling. James took his father's ice-cold hand. Mr. Fat, I don't hate you. I chose my way of life. The truth you gave me saved my family's life. Thank you. Just then, Mrs. Lamb arrived. She didn't come in a luxury car, but in a regular taxi, her face showing clear signs of exhaustion and remorse. Mrs. Lamb saw Fat holding James's hand and crying. She understood that she had missed much. Mrs. Lamb said nothing. She went straight to Diep, kneeling beside Fat. Diep, my daughter-in-law, I apologize to you. I once considered you an obstacle, someone who stole my son's rightful status. but I have witnessed the immense love between you and James. You gave him a home, a family, and a truth that money could never buy. You kept your promise. You never asked him to give up anything except deceit. Mrs. Lamb turned to James. Son, I apologize for not believing in you. I apologize for choosing prestige over your happiness. I used every means to force you back, but it was your love for Diep and little An that taught me the final lesson. A person's greatest asset is family, not the corporation. Mrs. Lamb reached out gently, touching little An's cheek. Thank you, grandson. You mended this family. James and Diep looked at each other. They were ready to forgive. They both saw the sincere remorse coming from the depths of their parents' hearts. James looked at the copper ring on Diep's hand. The copper ring, which had been the target of a murder curse and the key to a hidden fortune, was now simply a symbol of true love and redemption. It wasn't the secret code that held value, but the fact that James and Diep's relationship survived the greed and deceit of the past. The ring represented their commitment to the truth, which ultimately became their most powerful weapon. What did James say to solidify this ultimate act of forgiveness and final closure? Ba me. James said, his voice emotional yet steady. The curse has been broken. It was broken not by money, but by love and forgiveness. Diep took the copper ring off. She offered it to Fat and Mrs. Lamb. This ring was once a symbol of secrets and greed. Now please take it. Father, you used it to save us. Mother, you used every means to protect us from afar. Diep said. Fat and Mrs. Lamb held the ring, tears falling once more. Fat had seen the secret code inside it, but now he saw a different value. We don't need the Swiss fortune, James continued. We will use it to help those who were harmed. We will use your truth to build a new future. Fat nodded, agreeing with James's decision. He handed the ring back to Diep. Keep it, my daughter-in-law. Now it is a symbol of forgiveness and eternal love. Fat said. Mrs. Lamb hugged Diep and James tightly. I will never come back to disturb this life again. I will use my remaining days to support your fund and to be a grandmother in the truest sense. The meeting ended. Fat returned to prison with a lighter spirit. Mrs. Lamb stayed in Soymat for a moment, gazing at her grandson, and then quietly left, carrying peace in her soul. Soymat sank back into its familiar tranquility, but this time it was completely washed clean of all the dust of the past and the curse. James and Diep had not only defeated their enemies, but they had conquered the hatred within themselves. James's great love for Diep, coupled with the sincere repentance of Fat and Mrs. Lamb, transformed the wooden house into a fortress of truth and eternal love. This concludes the epic chapter of The Murder Curse and the Death Code. The final act of forgiveness and the decision to use the cursed fortune for good solidifies James and Diep's triumphant choice of a life built on truth. Would you like to start a new journey? Perhaps a different mystery or a romance story?